Conference Finals have arrived on the mean streets of Milwaukee. The Toronto Raptors and the Milwaukee Bucks playing Game 1 a half hour from now at brand new Fiserv Forum. Better than 17,500 will be inside.
We got about 2,000 out here.
Which is about what we have out here.
Sound good, too.
In the Deer District. They are 4 wins away from the NBA Finals.
The dog is killing me.
8 wins away from the ultimate prize.
Oh, my God.
This is awesome. Ernie, they got a dog up there. Ernie, they got a dog in the crowd.
There's not a dog, man.
It is a beautiful spring night.
It's actually nice out here. It is. Are you not entertained, Milwaukee? Are you not entertained? This is great.
I'll tell you what.
Man, they crack.
We welcome you to TNT NBA Tip-Off. It's presented by Auto Trader. That's Shaq. That's Kenny. That's Charles. I'm Ernie. This is my hometown. Shout out Wauwatosa.
Ernie giving shout-outs. Oh,
shout out North 68th Street.
Oh! Hey, Ernie, don't be throwing up signs now. Don't be throwing no signs up in here.
Hey, Kenny, it's the nicest crowd we ever had, right?
I think it is.
Go ahead,
oh, Ernie getting the Ernie. Oh, my goodness. I love it. I love it.
Go on, Kenny. Ernie, before we get started, we got to make sure this crowd is really live. Ready? Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Let me hear you say Milwaukee. Say Milwaukee. Say Bucks. Say Bucks. Okay. All right. They ready.
So, it has been a week since the Bucks played. That's when they punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. Meantime, Toronto, with the memories still very fresh in their minds of what happened Sunday, the shot.
Whatever play he drove up, I'm about to get to my spot and shoot it with confidence.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto is won! 15 fourth quarter points by Kawhi Leonard. 41 points and the game winner.
He hit a tough one. Man, he's an incredible player. We know it. Y'all know it. Ain't too much more you can say about it.
It was cool. It was all the fans, team, everybody around. It was crazy. It was one of the moments where it's like a real life game winner, Game 7. They counted down. We back home, and everyone was celebrating like that. It was a pretty awesome moment.
An unforgettable shot, and this also an unforgettable shot from Rick Madonic of the Toronto Star.
Who is that dude in the picture with Kawhi?
He made it.
You know who it is?
Who? He on the team.
Jordan Lloyd, who played 12 games this year, scored 29 points, went
Jordan
to Furman,
made the picture.
and he made the picture. Look at Embiid, hoping it doesn't go.
That's one of the greatest photos ever right there. He should be suspended, Chuck. He crossed that line.
You know what?
He wasn't on the active roster anyway.
But that's what's great.
That's a great picture.
He was just as excited.
Ernie, give a shout out to give a shout out again. What's that photographer's name?
Rick Madonic.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah, that is tremendous. Hey, Marv Albert's going to be calling this Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Reggie Miller, Chris Webber with him and working the sidelines. Kristen Ledlow, who was standing by inside Fiserv Forum. Kristen.
Ernie, I sat down with Kawhi Leonard earlier today. I did ask him about that photo, asked if he would frame it. He laughed and said, there's a lot of photos, but probably. Either way, I asked him about the shot, those bounces that I think to all of us felt like they took somewhere between 30 seconds and 30 years. He said that they felt like they took the 2 seconds they actually took, but he was waiting for that second bounce to see whether it came off the rim, hard or soft, and once he saw it hit the back of the rim, he thought he had a pretty good shot at it. Kawhi and I also talked about this unique opportunity to slow down, or perhaps shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo. Here's what he had to say.
It's not gonna take one guy, you know what I mean? It got to be a whole team concept, not showing lanes or gaps, and then it doesn't just end with him. They got guys over there making shots. Chris Middleton's an all-star player as well. making shots for him, playing defense on the other end. So, you know, he's leading them. He's doing a great job. Obviously, you have to try to slow him down first, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the game.
Kawhi went on to tell me that the key to this team's success is that everybody just wants to win. Nobody's worried about personal goals, the team's accomplishment, and that is why this Raptors team is in the Eastern Conference Finals. Ernie.
Thank you very much, Kristen. Probably can be echoed on the Milwaukee side of thing, the way you've seen the Bucks play out this season, too. Chuck, what does this series come down to in your mind?
Can Kawhi get any help? Plain and simple. I think the Milwaukee Bucks have a better supporting cast, even though I love Toronto. But those guys did not show up in Game 7 against Philly. They're going to have to play their bench, who I've been bragging on their bench for 2 years, got to give Kawhi some help. Kawhi's going to do his thing. Giannis going to do his thing also. To me, it's going to be about the supporting cast. That's why I have the Bucks taking this thing. But that's the key for Toronto. Get some help from anybody.
I want to show you a couple of numbers on here. Offensively and defensively, the route that these teams have taken to the Eastern Conference Finals, Milwaukee, it's all been about offense. They play good defense also, but they're scoring 117 and have scored at least 100 in 8 of their 9 games. Toronto, meantime, allowing 96 and have allowed under 100 in 9 of their 12 games. They're 8-1 when they hold teams under 100. So who wins the battle of wills, Kenny, offense versus defense in this series?
Well, I would say that the one thing that you would say in the Eastern Conference, that Milwaukee had the advantage to me over most teams. If they had more possessions, they had more talent, and so they would win the possession game and speeding up the tempo. I'm not sure if they have more talent to do that against Toronto, but I do think home court advantage will be the difference because the teams are so evenly matched. I'm not sure of not starting this series in the North and starting it in your hometown, the mean streets. And I think that will be the difference in this series.
I like what you're saying, Kenny, but you know, Chuck knows, you give me a team that's playing well together, I'll beat talented guys anytime. Chuck makes a great point. Ever since we talked about Siakam being the number 2 guy, he hasn't showed up in game 4, 5,
since
6.
The injury.
Since the injury. He hasn't showed up. So I like Milwaukee. I like how they play. I like their supporting cast. And Middleton and Bledsoe have to play well for them to get to the next round.
And let me say one thing, Ernie. That's a perfect example why I don't like analytics at time. You can make those stats show whatever you want to. Let me tell you, they ain't never going to hold this Bucks team under 100 points. You go back and look at Toronto. The 2 teams they have played, Orlando Magic, they're a young team, very inexperienced, got a bright future. And the Philadelphia 76ers, number 1, Embiid didn't play in a couple of those games. Ben Simmons is flawed because he don't know how to shoot the ball. So those numbers, they're not going to hold the Milwaukee Bucks under 100 in any game, in my opinion. So you can make those numbers say what you want to.
That was just the numbers from the playoffs so far. And again, I respect that opinion that, look, this Milwaukee team, you're really going to have to do something to hold them under 100 points.
Yes,
it has not been happening.
And you can't do it.
There's Malcolm Brogdon. You saw he came back in the last game of the previous series. And they are getting set to take the floor here at Fiserv Forum. And we are getting set to be served. They got some great grub inside Fiserv Forum with senior executive chef Kenneth Hardiman.
Well, you come say hello, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, how you
Thank
doing,
y'all.
man?
Hey, Kenneth. How you doing, Kenneth?
We got the Milwaukee. We got the Milwaukee.
Turn that way,
by
camera. Get on camera.
What's up, Kenneth?
We got the Happy Chicken by Dan. We got pretzels with cheese sauce by the Milwaukee Pretzel Company.
Wow.
Pork belly burnt ends by Iron Great Barbecue, and classic mac and cheese by Mac Shack.
Man.
All of that to be devoured by Shaquille O'Neal in the next
commercial. Thank you guys, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate the hospitality.
Yes, sir.
Hey, guys, and we know that food was good, but Ernie, we got a better treat. Tell them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you have royalty coming onto the set next, Oscar Robertson will join us here as you see the Milwaukee Bucks take the floor inside. A guy who was here for the only championship for the Milwaukee Bucks. There he is, the Big O, joins us next here on TNT NBA Tip-Off, presented by Auto Trader.